Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about Apple because their new privacy labels are apparently not so accurate. Now here's what's going on, and this is coming from the Washington Post in an article by Jeffrey Fowler, and I thought this was absolutely great because I've actually seen a lot of this myself. Now Apple, if you didn't know, only lets you access apps for your iPhone through the App Store. They basically say that this keeps everything a lot more safe, which is there's some merit to that, because if you look at what Google does, Google has their own ecosystem, but they allow you to go to third-party app stores with your Android if you didn't know, and you can download and install things from third-party stores, and a lot of those third-party stores are rife with infection. And so Apple is onto something there, but Apple appears to be doubling down on that logic when they announced in 2020 that they would ask app makers to basically fill out essentially forms that would show what privacy is and what they're doing. And basically Fowler's calling it privacy nutrition labels. Because just like packaged food that discloses how much sugar or fat or whatever is in it, the apps would then disclose in clear terms how they take and use your data, and the label appears in boxes towards the bottom of the app listing. But here's the core of the issue. Apple built this entire privacy thing, their big privacy product, on the honor system. That's right, in small print on the detail page of each app label, Apple says, and I quote, "This information has not been verified by Apple." Basically, at least some of the developers aren't being honest, and they're being rather misleading as they are filling out these forms. And some of the examples that Fowler gives that were checked with utilities that look for traffic leaving your phone and going to places like Google and Facebook and others, many of those, like Google and Facebook, have advertising SDKs or software development kits that embed into the app, so the app developers use them basically to data mine you for profit. Now, the examples of the apps that claim to collect no data whatsoever according to their privacy nutrition label, but actually do according to Fowler, and here are some examples of many, one is the Satisfying Slime Simulator. It's rated for ages 4 and up, and it's basically sharing a way to identify your iPhone and other device properties with Facebook and Google, and also a service called Game Analytics. And it was sending Unity, a software provider for game makers, not only Fowler's phone ID, but also his battery level, free storage space, general location, and even volume level. And there you go. Another one was the social network Rumble. Some of you have heard of this as a lot of people fled from Facebook and Twitter to Parler. Rumble became one of those alternatives. And a lot of people say, well, Rumble is going to be private and free and all of this. But Rumble, despite their label, was also sending Facebook and Google an ID that could track your phone along with other data about how you use the app. Now, Rumble did not respond to Fowler, but it did change its privacy label in mid-January to disclose that it's collecting a lot more data than it had originally stated. Another one is the travel app Maps.me. That was sending IDs and other data to Google and Facebook, but also app analytics company Flurry and Russian internet company Mail.ru. The app's director, Andreas Konstantinidis, and I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, said that his company purchased the app from Mail.ru last year and was in the process of updating its practices and its labels. So basically, you might have Russian developers saying, yes, we are not collecting your data, and here we are. Other apps that were spotted that were claiming to take no data but actually were things like Fundu Pro, Instatown, What's Direct Chat and Web, and all of these are now starting to change their labels. Now, Apple says that they care about our privacy. Tim Cook came out and said that privacy is the core responsibility of Apple. But they've got to understand, they're making $64 billion a year off their app store. They did in 2020. They have to share this responsibility. It's one thing to, let's say, basically come to me that is going to include a whole bunch of data mining things if I release an app because I'm going to make money off of that. And for me to say, oh yeah, it's fine, no big deal, no privacy problems. And then to have it tested, of the zillions of apps out there, how many of them are simply just paying lip service to this? And by virtue of that, how many Apple users are actually trusting these labels when they are concerned about their data privacy? If you did not know that this was on the honor system and that they could self-attest to their privacy, and you saw that nice clear check mark that said they collect no privacy, that is misleading. That opens up lawsuits, that opens up anger, that opens up a lot of different things. It would behoove Apple to spend a little bit of that $64 billion that they collected to actually make sure that this is part of their vetting process. And that is a huge, huge thing. Facebook and Apple right now are at odds because Facebook is integrating technologies that will show the user all the various ways that the Facebooks of the world will data mine you. But if half of this is on the honor system, there's going to be no honor at all. And that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, everyone.